tuned into Grammy Pro Buzzin. I'm your host, DJ Moonbaby, here exclusively at the Capitol Records building. And I'm here with two-time Grammy winner, Smokie Norful. So good to be here with you.
Good to be hanging out with you as well.
I can't believe you invited me in the building.
No, I'm glad you came in the building.
I personally want to congratulate you for this year's Grammy.
Woohoo!
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2. It's an awesome experience, but thank you. I appreciate that.
No Greater Love.
No Greater Love.
Best Gospel Performance Song.
I mean,
Wow.
Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought? And this actually was co-written with Mr. Moti, Grammy-winning producer, Aaron Lindsey.
Aaron Lindsey, yeah, phenomenal artist, phenomenal producer, songwriter. So it couldn't have been a better pairing for me. And of course, you know, I thank him for another Grammy.
Oh, he has that magic touch.
He does.
He's like the Buddha right now with the Grammy.
He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
So you guys have worked together before?
This was our first time.
Really?
This was my first time working with Aaron, so it was a new experience because we've known each other forever, but we've not known each other in the context of developing music, you know.
Right.
So it was fresh. It was just a fresh experience.
Magical.
It was.
Obviously.
It was. And the song was actually written for Cece. He started writing the song for Cece, and when I heard it, you know, I said, "Now I love Cece. She's my favorite." But that is a Smokie Norful song, so I helped him to finish developing it, finish writing it, and you know, like you said, one more Grammy later.
Right, that's all it takes.
Absolutely.
So you actually took a break with this particular album before you came out, about 5 years?
It really wasn't a break. You know, a lot of people would see it as that because they didn't hear from me, they didn't see me a lot, I wasn't out there a lot. But it was really 5.5 years of putting this CD together, developing, writing. I mean, I had over 20-something songs. And so it took a lot of time, and I worked with a lot of different people to find the right songs to put on this project. So it was 5 years of work that actually went into this project.
And Forever Yours is the name of the album.
Forever Yours. Forever Yours is the name of the CD, and it's the name of one of the songs that's very special to me on the project.
Now, you've titled this as your ultimate love letter to God.
I took inspiration from an old Commission song. Everybody knows Fred Hammond, but the group Commission was the group that Fred was a part of. They had a song called Running Back to You. And it talked about how they had walked away or fallen away from God. And, you know, they came back crying for forgiveness. And so in the same way, it ended up being more of a love song between me and God. And believe it or not, some people have used it as a love song at their wedding between their new spouse. But it has the same concept in that, you know, it says, hey, I've made some mistakes. I've fallen short and I've done a whole lot more. But now here I am and I'm forever yours. So, yeah, I would say that it is the ultimate love song for sure.
I mean, it's a spiritual love in a
sense. It is.
No matter if it's God or your partner or whoever you're with, you know, that should be in place, obviously.
People ask often, you know, what inspires you? How do you write this song and that song? And how did you come up with that? Life is my inspiration. For all the music that I do, you know, and not just my life, but all the lives that are around me, all the experiences, the good, the bad, the painful, I pull up on all of that and I invest it in my music. And I think that's why it's been so effective for so long. I've been doing this a long time now. My grandmother used to say it like this growing up in the South, you know, what comes from the heart reaches the heart, baby. And so I think it's the same principle in the music. And so my heart is in this project. You know, there's songs like Imperfect Me. How do you see the good in imperfect me? You know, and I got what you need, just celebrating and having a good time. You know, it's really a old school, eclectic kind of dance track, you know, but it makes people feel good, you know, and that's the season of life that I'm in is I feel good. I feel great.
It's a great place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're going to go back in time. I Need You Now.
Yeah.
2002.
2002.
That personally touched me. I was in Chicago at the time when I heard it for the first time.
Wow.
And you're originally from Chicago, or you live there now.
I live there. I've been there for almost 20 years, so yeah.
But that song just penetrated, I think, so many people at that time. Was that something that was written from the Spirit for you personally?
Again, life inspired. You know, my wife had just been diagnosed with tumors, and this is the second time they said we wouldn't have kids naturally, and of course, the procedures she had to go through. My dad had just had open heart surgery. My mother was paralyzed on her whole right side. And My grandmother, they were threatening to amputate her leg, and this is all happening at the same time,
wow.
within 4 months of each other. I mean, it was just back to back to back to back, one thing after another. And so when I sat down and wrote that song, it really had nothing to do with anybody else. You know, it was it's a blessing that out of my pain, that people found their solace and they found their encouragement. But it was really me saying, I need you now.
Right.
God, I need help now.
And we felt that when we heard it. And
Well, I'm
that's what a
glad.
great song is.
I'm
It's
glad.
really expressing whatever your emotions are and people being able to receive that.
Right,
So
yeah.
that one was definitely well received.
Good,
So
good.
congratulations. Then you went on to win for Best Gospel Album, almost 10 years to date from winning this year.
Isn't that banana? That's crazy to me. You know, that is absolutely amazing. God is amazing. Literally, almost 10 years to the day. You know, but 10 years ago, prior to that, I won for Nothing Without You, which is a love song that is a bona fide, true wedding song. And I really celebrate that song. I worked with George Duke, the late George
Wow.
Duke, on that song. And it ended up being the title track for the project. So to win the Grammy on that one and to work with, again, another legendary producer, songwriter, musician, you know, an artist. So it's just an honor to be favored by God and to have this kind of gift that 2005 to 2015, he's still doing it.
Still doing it
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
So what do you think is your secret? I mean, you've been in this business so long, obviously, and you've remained faithful and you've remained true to yourself. But what do you think is the secret to staying in this business like you have been able to?
I think you just hit the nail on the head, actually, intrinsic within the question, is staying true to yourself. Times change. Music changes. Presentation and styles change. The business has certainly changed.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, in all of those changes, you know, there are some adjustments that have to be made. You know, digital music and downloading and free downloading wasn't an issue or concern when I first started.
Right.
You know, people had to buy the whole thing.
It's a double-edged sword at this point.
It is.
So to speak.
It
'Cause
is.
It's free marketing and promotions that
Right.
you never had to reach
Exactly.
that big span, but
Exactly.
it's also a detriment on the sales end sometimes. So.
Absolutely. With the pros and the cons, there are adjustments that have to be made, and we do appreciate the good, and you know we have to deal with the bad and adjust. But one thing that I've never adjusted, one thing that I don't intend to ever change is who I am. You know, I want to be me, and I want to be the best me that I can be musically, as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a brother. You know, and I think that's what remains constant, and that creates longevity. Look at all the legends. They are still legendary, and they have not changed and altered.
Nothing.
Patti LaBelle, I mean, you know, we can go down the list of all. Smokey Robinson, whom they just honored, you know, recently. It just over and over and over again. Those legendary people, you love them. I just saw, in my opinion, and I may be pubbing him, you know, out of context here. I don't know if I'm allowed to do it. Okay,
let
cool,
loose, let loose.
cool. I just saw Uncle Charlie.
I love
in
Charlie
concert.
Wilson. Shout out to Charlie Wilson.
My God. And I had the privilege of meeting him some years ago. He was working on his comeback CD, and I was in the studio at the same time he was there, so I went down, and he was just down to earth, laid back guy. And so just to see how consistent he has been, and as a legend, he gave, in my opinion, the best show I have seen in
It's
my
nuts,
life.
the show that he gives. He turns the young guys out.
Yes. I mean, his energy level was over the top. It was just, I was just amazed. I left amazed. And I look forward to seeing everybody else. And, you know, I was at the festival, so I was excited about them. But after seeing Uncle Charlie,
Yeah, he's a class act.
Oh,
True
my
performer
gosh.
through and through.
but he's the same.
Right.
He's constant. Even his new music, he's not trying to alter who he is. And I think that really is the key to longevity in this business, you know, is knowing the business, understanding the business, doing and handling your business, but being true to who you are.
Well, I think great music always prevails too.
Absolutely.
Like when you are just amazingly talented and good at what you do,
Absolutely.
there's no gimmicks, there's no way to
Yeah.
really formulate that.
Yeah.
So I think that really attributes to a lot of the legends you're talking about, including yourself.
Well,
So
somebody called me a legend recently. I was actually at another awards ceremony recently. They were honoring me, of course, along with a lot of other people. And one of the younger producer artists, you know, came and was like, "Oh my God, where you been? You're a legend." I got offended. I'm like, I'm not
You're
a
like,
legend.
I'm not old enough to
I'm
be
not
a
old
legend.
enough to be a legend yet.
Hold
No.
on, youngster. Yeah.
So, you know, I said, no. He said, well, okay, a living legend. I said, okay, I guess I'll take that.
Maybe that's a little different. I guess you'll take that one, right? So you've worked with obviously so many people, but
Absolutely.
if you could go back in time to some of these gospel living legends, who would you want to work with?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
And why?
That's such a tough question. You know, one person that I did not get to record with, and he's a gospel legend, is Daryl Coley. Mm-hmm. You know, Vanessa Bell Armstrong is my favorite singer of all times, and I studied her, and she inspired me, and you know, from a distance, not even knowing me, encouraged this little kid in Oklahoma and Arkansas, you know, to learn and to grow and to perfect my musical craft. But I didn't get a chance to work with, or haven't had a chance to work with, Daryl Coley. So that's probably one of the few people that if I could go back, I would probably do a song. And it would have been amazing to do a song with the three of them.
I couldn't imagine.
with the three of us, rather.
It would knock us all out. I know
Oh,
that.
my gosh, yeah.
So do you have a favorite gospel song?
I don't know. I mean, that's so tough because
tough
each one is for a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love the Hawkins, tragedies are commonplace. You know, it helps me to put things in perspective. It could have been me outdoors, sleeping, you know, with no clothes, just another a number,
Right.
you know, without a friend. So it really helps me to evaluate with all that I think I haven't done, all that I don't have. You know, it makes me say thank you. You know, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. You know, of course, I love the newer songs too. Tamala Man, Take Me to the King. I mean,
Oh, that's amazing.
Kirk Franklin's. I'm just a Kirk fan from as a kid. You know, Why We Sing. I'm a Why We Sing fan from back in the day. You know, there are so many. You know.
Well, that's the beauty about music. You could be a fan
Yeah.
of so many people. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what keeps us young and excited about
Absolutely.
music. You know,
I love this guy too. This one guy's name is Smokie Norful. He's got some.
he's all right. Maybe he'll be big one day. Maybe he'll win a Grammy.
One day
I don't
he'll
know.
get there. One day he'll make it. Yeah.
So let's narrow that question down.
Okay.
What's the favorite gospel song you've done?
My favorite gospel song is probably Dear God, and it is a letter to God. Every CD I've had a ballad, and I've tried diligently to not do a ballad, believe it or not, because everybody wants me to sit down at the piano and sing. That's how they met
That's
me.
what you do.
Yeah, you know, they want to keep me where they met me, and I'm like, no, I don't want
The
to
Ray
do
Charles
that.
of gospel.
And so the last CD, which was Smokie Norful Live, I was struggling because all of the other ones came out of pain and they
Right.
came out of trial. You know, I Need You Now, God Is Able. You know, Run Till I Finish. You know, they were all ballads and they were all born out of some crisis or tragedy or trial. And so I was in a great place. And I was like, I don't have anything to write
Right.
from. You know, there are no trials. There's no, what do I get?
Yeah.
And so I just decided at the last minute, sit down and write a letter to God about how you feel. And, you know, it ended up being an amazing song that a lot of people embraced in the same way they did the previous ones. It feels so good to make it this far. I didn't think I could take it so long. There were moments I wanted to quit when I said, surely this is it, but I held on. Lord, I thank you for my life. And so for me, I think that's the most precious, special song because it's just a pure,
Raw and honest.
pure, raw, honest, you know, letter to God. Dear God, thank you for my life.
And so many people can relate to that.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I just, applaud you for your career and what you've done.
Thank you very much. And thank you
Yes.
for all of the years of support.
Of
and
course.
from the I Need You Now to the No
Always.
Greater Love to Forever Yours. Thank you.
Your fans are not going anywhere, that's for sure.
I appreciate that too.
And
I love you guys. Did I tell you that
Yes.
yet today? I love you.
So before we get out of here, I just want you to tell everyone like where you are today in your career and with this album Forever Yours. What is your main message that you want to give the world with the music that you're creating today?
Well, you know, one of the things that is really heavy on me right now is legacy. You know, a lot of the legends, I don't know how many of us have done a sufficient job. And I say us now. I'm only embracing it for this question. You got that? But a lot of us haven't done a sufficient job at passing the torch and teaching other people what we know, the good, the bad, and otherwise, you know, the
Right.
business even. And so I'm raising up a whole generation of young artists, and that's really special and important for me now. Just to pour into them everything that God has shown me and that I've learned sometimes through mistakes and sometimes through painful experiences, but I wanna offer that to them. So I've got some artists that I've signed, and I'm gonna be pushing them out.
Nice.
Isaiah Templeton, you're gonna absolutely love him. There's a lot. I'm just
Okay.
gonna, there's a lot that are coming.
Have you created a label?
I have, of course. My last 4 CDs have come out on my own label.
And what is that label?
It's
Tell the
Trey
world.
Miles Music. Trey Miles Music. That's TEREMYLES. Just look out for us because we're about to do major things. And I guess the core message of my life, of every song, every CD, everything that I want to instill in people is hope, healing, and empowerment. Those are the 3 foundational pillars of Smokie Norful in every way. Even in the leaving of the legacies, I want to instill in them and continue to carry on the tradition of instilling hope, healing, and empowerment. I think that's why my songs have resonated with people, and that's what I want my life to resonate with people. So that's my message.
Well, great. Well, the world needs all of the H's that you threw out
HHE
there.
is what we
Yes.
call it in my circle. Yeah, HHE. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And do come back and see us and bring some of those new artists.
They're coming.
Next time.
They're coming.
Well,
Hopefully with Grammys in their hands too.
Hey, you'll have that magic touch because you already got that going.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us today. It's been another edition of Grammy Pros Buzzin' here at the Capitol Studios with 2-time Grammy winner Smokie Norful. Make sure you check out the album Forever Yours, as well as his new artist coming out on Trey Miles. I'm DJ Moonbaby signing out. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.